This is Angel Garcia. Now tune in to the Boxing Voice. Don't forget.
What's up, this is Danny Garcia. You're listening to the Boxing Voice.
Boxingvoice.com.
Dollar-D Beyonce Productions.
I must be the greatest.
Let's get that done. I've been here before and I know what it takes. It's hard work, dedication. Boxingvoice.com. Mayweather is the best.
Win, lose, or draw, we coming to fight. Ain't nobody take that away.
Boxingvoice.com.
We're coming to fight.
They do what they can, I do what I want.
When you look at how he throws that left hook, it starts out really low. We're going to see what kind of character he has.
The lefts and rights by Maidana. And it's all Marcos Maidana. Here's a lot of those punches off his shoulder.
I think anybody out there listening, or Keith, anybody, I think that's a dangerous deal to make. I think it's
Boxingvoice.com.
15 minutes. Can you be full for 15 minutes? Can you? Listen, the concentration leaves it a little bit. Pick it up. Pick it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice. This is going to be your immediate reaction edition to this this news that we got today, that Danny Garcia is going to be facing Samuel Vargas. And I don't know. We want to see how you guys feel. I know how I feel. I'm pretty sure I know how Boxing MD feels. But listen, the number is 1-425-569-5241. Pick up the phone. Call us up. Let us know. Get it off your chest. Is Danny cherry picking? Is this no different than Andre Ward and Kovalev, where they both got an in-between fight before the big fight? So much to talk about. Errol Spence taking the social media, taking shots. Keith Thurman taking the social media, taking shots. Danny Garcia, heavy lies the throne. Boxing MD, brother, how you doing today, man? What's going on? Talk to me.
Hey, man, I'm doing well. It's just Danny Garcia has gotten to the point of his career where he has legitimately ducked Andre Berto.
I mean, I guess that's I guess you can say that, right? I don't know. What I'm hearing over here is the official press release from both a few people, right? But it was definitely sent from PBC. And yeah, this fight is officially a non-title fight. For all our casual listeners that just stumbled across this, we're discussing and giving our immediate reaction to the fact that Danny Garcia is fighting Samuel Vargas, MD. And now we should know Samuel Vargas if we're super duper hardcores. We know that Errol Spence knocked him out in about 4 rounds. There's a highlight reel on the PBC YouTube channel if you want to check that out. He has been a career junior middleweight, and he's gone down quite a few times for certain fights, like the Errol Spence fight. Now, again, I guess you being the co-host, I'll pose the question to you to, pitch the narrative to the listeners, right? In one hand, we had Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev, where we were told they each would get an in-between fight, and then they would clash, and we would see a super fight. So in this official press release and on ESPN, which is, the 35th biggest website in the world. So again, if there's a billion, that's where PBC is, right? That being said, they're stating that the undefeated Danny Garcia is going to be taking this fight versus the Colombian Samuel Vargas, headlining a premier boxing champions card on Spike TV from Temple University. Now here, MD, and again, remember that you call yourself MD and you're in law school. Garcia's fight against Vargas is the final hurdle before his highly anticipated welterweight world title unification showdown against undefeated champion Keith Thurman. planned for the first quarter of 2017. Now, this is their press release, right? And it's with their official letterhead. So over on the, premier writer in the sport, Dan Rayfield of ESPN, he goes on to say much of the same, except he makes it clear that this is a non-title fight. So again, WBC being very lenient to the champion Garcia. So far, how have you digested that?
So wait, so I'm sorry, I had to step away for a second, but you're saying it's a non-title fight, right? I guess that means it's 10 rounds. Is that really why he's emphasizing that? Because
well, I mean, yes, it is a 10-rounder.
So, and the other thing is that I was going to say, when a casual fan turns the channel on, the Spike TV for this fight, right? What they're going to see is they're going to see a guy in Samuel Vargas who should not be on fucking TV. So there's no way that this is going to look good at all, no matter what he does. I mean, knocking an opponent out, who's the last guy that Adonis Stevenson fought?
MD, again, I asked you to remember that you go by MD. How is this different than Andre Ward and Kovalev? Like, how is this different than Alexander?
Okay. Well, the difference between this and Kovalev is who's enforcing the fact that him and Keith Thurman are going to be fighting next? Why is it a foregone conclusion that we assume that just because PBC is releasing that in their ledger to build this fight, that there's no PBC has said, one second, Nestor, PBC has said a lot of things that they have not followed through on. So why are you automatically going to believe that's going to be the next fight?
Name one fight they said they was going to give us that they didn't give us.
I don't have. Well, they said that fighters were going to fight 2 to 3 times a year at least. That's not happening.
I said name one fight. One fight. Name one fight. They said we would get, and we didn't, because I could name all their top guys facing each other. Leo Santa Cruz is going to be facing Carl Frampton again in a rematch. So I don't really know what you're saying. I seen Keith Thurman face Sean Porter. So if they're saying, and this is not the first time we hear about this Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia in the first quarter. Don't act like we didn't hear about it when he was fighting Andre Berto. Don't act like we didn't hear when it was rumored. Okay, and don't act like we didn't hear about it when there was also mentioned that he wouldn't even fight Berto. That instead he would wait and fight Thurman. And then there was another article. Remember, we just did a show, on-demand show. One of our callers paid for an on-demand show where we pulled an article from Boxing Scene that stated that this would happen, that he would have a gimme fight to then meet Keith Thurman in the beginning quarter of 2017. So again, all signs have been pointing to that. And I really don't recall one. Hopefully our listeners can tell me of a fight that PBC promised that we did not get. Because last time I checked, Kovalev Stevenson could not happen because it's two different entities.
So this is the one gimme fight before he's fighting a real welterweight? Is that what you're saying? Is that your summary?
Doesn't it sound like the Alexander Brand, Andre Ward fight?
Yeah, but like Sullivan Barrera, like
I just don't understand it. If it can
listen, one second. I totally understood. I totally understand the argument that people may say that Sullivan Barrera hasn't been proven to be, I guess, a top 5 light heavyweight. But having said that, Danny Garcia hasn't even fought anybody near Sullivan Barrera in his last 4 or 5 fights. So I mean, it's not the same thing. Danny Garcia has been given gimme fights ever since his close fight with Lamont Peterson.
Okay, so is it that I don't understand, because I could have sworn we did an episode a few weeks ago or months ago where we stated where I know I definitely said, look, I like the way that Kovalev and Ward did business. And I said, and I asked all my co-hosts, Enrique, are you there? Do you remember when I said that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, I said to everybody, Enrique included, I said, hey, Enrique, now that they gave us this super fight and the way that they set it up was each guy had a gimme fight, would you guys sign up to that notion? I asked a couple of callers that called in too. So let's not act like I'm doing a song and dance for Mr. Garcia. Now, again, I'm going to repeat it. If you're going to tell me a fighter's going to get 1 or 2 and then the real fight, I'm signing up. And if they're telling me Garcia got whatever he got he's getting this and Thurman in the beginning, I'm signing up. Now, I'm going to show something here that Keith Thurman already, took to his Facebook and posted. And he says, enjoy your last cherry of the year. I'll be waiting to take that green belt in 2017. Hashtag one time. Hashtag KOs for life. Hashtag 2 belts. Hashtag unification. Now, look, this is the fight I want. You guys know, anybody that's been following this show as long as I've been doing it knows exactly how I feel about the one time, okay? And his skill. So we are going to have to see what happens. But look, I want to ask everybody that's watching this on YouTube, come on, where's the thumbs up? I mean, do we have to say it? Do I have to really jab you in the face? Enrique, so just bringing it back to you. I said what I said back then, and now here we are in a position where A-lister fighter is getting basically 2 gimme fights, which was the first one was who did he fight in January? Was that Robert Guerrero?
Guerrero.
And now,
I consider a gimme. But
okay, you don't consider it a gimme. And but now this Vargas is, I don't even know. I mean, come on. I mean, this guy.
Ness, did you consider that a gimme?
Which one, Roberto?
Yeah.
I mean, the public did, right?
Okay.
The public did. And
the hardcore public.
Perception is what matters.
That's not the hardcore public. Like people who've been watching his career, who've just been watching his career, know that Guerrero was old. I mean, that's not really a hardcore knowledgeable thing necessarily.
Guerrero's highlight reel.
Yeah, I don't really know if he's old. We've seen other champions fight old champions, Well,
we've seen it, but like
I feel like we've seemed to forget that boxing, this is the way it was established. Like other fighters make names off of other fighters. It's all about timing. I mean, look, Sean Zattel, credit to him again. I mean, he deserves another round of applause. And, credit to you guys because you're about to give it to him, right? Because, listen, this guy did that interview with Floyd Mayweather, right? And, not to mention, it went a little viral, but there were so many different topics that Floyd touched on in that interview, man, that brings it right back to this, right? Where the best are facing the best. And if this fight is an in-between to Kovalev Ward for the welterweight division, I'm for it. Now, if he doesn't fight Thurman in the beginning of the year, which there's obviously a lot of signs saying that he may not, with his father saying the things that he said about, why fight the best when you could fight a Salka. But again, I think that just like every other big fight PBC has made that we thought wouldn't happen, we thought Leo wouldn't fight Carl. We thought that. And he did. We thought Leo wouldn't even fight Abner. And he did. We thought Thurman was never going to fight Porter because it looked like Thurman was the one ducking. We were calling him duck time. Let's not forget how fickle we are. And I say we because I'm part of it. But let's not forget that we assume a lot. And behind closed doors, Enrique, you're in a business where contracts and things take place left and right. It takes time to negotiate, right or wrong?
Yeah, plenty of time. And sometimes negotiations aren't an agreement and, somebody else gets the better half of the negotiation.
And I mean, when you're talking about a fight with Keith and Danny, MD, I'll bring you in since you love the business side, right? I mean, here's a guy in Keith Thurman who I clearly see as the A side. But here's a guy in Danny Garcia who possibly thinks he is the A side, right? I mean, based off what he's done at 140, the fact that, hate it or love it, he's a champion at 147. That's a tricky fight to make. And then remember that Keith got 1.5 to fight Porter. So it's a tricky fight to make, right? Like also, we're hearing these rumors of the well running dry. I mean, is this a CBS? Is this a Spike? Is this going to be, I don't know, on Showtime? Is Showtime going to kick out some money? There's a lot. Look at Golovkin-Jacobs. It's still not done. WBA just said no, 75-25 to the champion, and that's the way that it's going. So now is Al Heyman really going to bid to win, to promote a fight where his fighter's only going to get 25%? Or is Danny going to walk away? Is this Danny Garcia going to walk away come 2017? I don't know. I mean, it's a lot to take in, man.
Yeah, I mean, so then you pose the question, then why waste our time with this fight? Like, you know, we talk about in between fights or this is unacceptable. Like no matter what you say about what fights next, I mean, Sammy Vargas is, he might be a good, but he's a bum. Like, he's not a good fighter.
Yeah, but
it does make a big difference because
no, I'm not saying
no, they are taking a portion of this. They're taking a small, I guess, a small.
Did you know Alexander Brand? Because I never knew Alexander Brand until who said he was fighting him. I never heard of him.
And who was happy of that fight? We're happy we get the
No. It's not about being happy. Again,
these are unacceptable fights for TV. I don't know what you're arguing.
You help me comprehend the metaphor or the analogy that I'm trying to use. If those guys can set up a super fight that way, is Danny Garcia?
This is not setting up a super fight. This is a fight that's.
Why is it not? Why is it not?
Because they're not doing anything to push Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman by him fighting Samuel Vargas. It does absolutely nothing. This is not a positive trend.
Andre Ward versus.
No, it is not. Nobody was happy about that.
Alexander Brand. What did that do?
It essentially preceded a fight that has had zero to a little buzz right now. Like, you're going to tell me this, the Kovalev Ward paper.
So I don't go back and forth with this guy. Just tell me that at least you understand me, or am I not explaining myself correctly?
I'm a little lost of what you're trying to express, but I understand what you're saying. Did anyone know Alexander Brand? No, they did not. And what did it do for the Kovalev fight? Well, it brought us to critique Ward, saying, Ward didn't look as great against this unknown Alexander Brand guy, and now he has this fight coming up. I don't think that helps promote the fight. It just questions Ward's knockout power, I would assume. This and Danny Garcia is going to be the same. If Danny does not look super impressive, Rod Salka round 1 KO or round 2 KO early, we question Danny Garcia's power, we question his skill, and we would then talk negative about him. The odds will be dropped. He would become the B-side, in my opinion, against Thurman.
You know, Enrique, how much buzz has Andre Ward Kovalev gotten from a casual perspective?
I'm disappointed, but not too many buzz going on.
So Ness, do you see the effect of what Alexander Brand with a very lukewarm
negative, sir. Negative.
You don't understand how business.
No, what you don't understand is the promoters. I was talking to Enrique off air because it's going to be difficult for us to put this event together around this fight. You tell me, what fighters does main events have? Come back on. Don't mute yourself. You want to step in the ring? Step in the ring. What fighters does main events have?
It's Kaitrov. They have like a few.
Okay, exactly. Who's going to be on the undercard in favor of main events other than fucking Kovalev? Who's the main event?
Ness, what do you talk? What does this have anything to do with the fact that they're picking
buzz for this fight, because both of these guys are not Oscar De La Hoya. They're not top rank. They're not even PBC. This is main events and Rock Nation. Rock Nation hasn't even made a dent in boxing, okay? Every time we think they're going to do something, they don't. And like you said, there's no promotion. Why? Because both promoters seem to be on a small side. And listen, there's no disrespect to Kathy Duva. She's endured through the passing of her husband and everything. But let's be honest. Outside of Sergey Kovalev, who does she have? And I'll help you. At one point, she had Curtis Stevens. Who knows if she still has him? Has he ever been an A-side? I'll help you. At one point, she worked with Gabriel Rosado. Has he ever been an A-side? Okay. So don't ask me about is Ward Kovalev and what did Alexander Brand do? Because, again, Enrique, and I'll bring it back to you so you can try and understand, because I don't want to open up these phone lines until this point is made. It's about the principle of the contract for Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev, where we're being told these guys will fight Chilemba and Alexander Brand We don't care about those fights because we know after that fight, it leads to Ward Kovalev. So now, if PBC is telling us on their own press release, in their letterhead, after this is Thurman Garcia. You got Thurman saying the same thing. Why are we not believing that? Or why can't we believe that? Have they not given us that many fights? Again, I'm still waiting to hear which fight they said we would get that we didn't get.
Well, we did get a lot of fights this year. PBC, Thurman Porter was one of them, as well as Leo Santa Cruz and Frampton. I will look at it if they did say it that the next fight in 2017 is Thurman versus DSG, but I'm not happy with the Vargas fight at all. Samuel Vargas.
We're not supposed to be happy. I mean, we're supposed to feel the same way we felt when Sergey Kovalev fought Chilemba.
Right?
Were you happy with
No,
Chilemba?
no, that's not.
Why not?
That's not because he's fighting a guy.
Chilemba is a better rated fighter. I'm not even trying to disrespect Chilemba.
Well, that's the whole point.
But what I'm trying to say is, were you happy? Was it not still the same mindset as a hardcore fan? Did you not assume Sergey Kovalev was going to blow through Isaac Chilemba? And
yes, but Chilemba was it a legitimate opponent, Ness?
Legitimate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why his ranking legitimate? What is it?
No, I'm not using his rankings. Have you seen him box before? We all talked about him being a reasonably good light heavyweight. Ness, I've never heard you say the name Sammy Vargas in your life.
No. I'm not.
So then stop playing stop acting like it's the same thing or there's any like it's an entirely different thing.
Is it not a fight in lieu of?
No.
Listen.
Why not? Why not? Wait, let him answer because I'm dying for him to give me an answer.
Because what happened there is they gave Sergey Kovalev a decent opponent. He fought in Russia. They did what they did. They built the fight, right? PBC has what, 50 fucking welterweights, a bunch of different opponents they could have to put him on Spike TV. What's going to happen is they're going to be dick riding him the entire broadcast, calling him the world champion, right? Then people are going to turn in, watch him fight a fucking bum who got knocked out in the 4th round versus Earl Spence. And they're going to be like, this is boxing? I'm not going to watch his next fight because this is some bullshit. Because this is bullshit, Ness. You know how this is going to look.
Want you
so
to
stop playing that like this is a good thing or an acceptable thing.
Between this deal and Ward and Kovalev's deal so we can move on.
What's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference of this deal and Ward and Kovalev's deal?
Well, the first thing is you 100%. We saw what happened, so it's a hindsight. At 1,000,000% happened. Danny Garcia could drop a belt. Canelo just dropped the belt. I don't know if they're mandatory or what. There's no guarantee this next fight's going to happen.
So why did we believe Kovalev and Ward when they said they were going to do it? Why did everyone believe that? Why can't we believe now that PBC is saying they're going to do it? When you got Steven Espinoza since this year saying that he's going to put it together for first.
But didn't we also believe that? Didn't we also believe that Canelo was going to fight Triple G?
Canelo has nothing to do with PBC. He got nothing to do with it. Don't bring up dude.
So you're saying that PBC is this angel that came down to boxing and is going to always
what I'm
speak
saying,
clearly.
MD, if you never lied to me, and I'm not saying, don't take these words as literal, because I'm not saying PBC never lied to you, but what I'm saying, if MD never lied to Nestor, why would I not trust you?
Because PBC has been untrustworthy in a lot of different ways already.
Okay, and now I repeat my question because you continue to dodge it.
I'm not an expert on what PBC rumors have said and haven't happened.
Which fight did they say they were going to give you as a boxing fan that they have not? Let me hear it, please.
Well, I mean, based on what they said, that PBC is going to have the best fight, the best, and have 3 to 4 fights a year. They've lied to me based on their whole, having the UFC model, have official rankings, Ness, what about the PBC belt? Where the fuck did that happen? Where'd that go? I mean, PBC has been
PBC belt? What are you talking about? Rumors? Come on, brother. Stop it.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
bring up allegations on a fucking show that it's legitimate. We not rumor. What PBC belt? Who told you that? Where'd you get that from?
Were there rumors when you were talking about it? I don't know, 2 years ago.
I know. I definitely wished upon a star that they should have made one. Did I ever say that there was a PBC belt? Did I ever say that we're getting one?
You're saying it's all in the plan. That's where PBC is headed. So we assume.
Okay. I said that they were headed to a PBC belt. I could have sworn I said I would love for the WBC to somehow get involved, right? Because no one's going to forget about the WBC. They're not going to just stop adoring that belt. But that's besides the point. You still haven't told me how is this a different deal from Andre Ward and Kovalev, one and another. I mean, I'm not getting that.
He's judging it off of the opponent Danny Garcia is facing right now. The decent.
All right, so that's why I said to you.
Well, if you want to talk about boxing, we assume.
Hold on a minute. That's why I said to the both of you guys.
You're also saying that
Alexander Brand, because I didn't know Alexander Brand until Ward fought him. Just like I didn't even know Vargas fought fucking Earl Spence.
Well, the argument for Andre Ward was that people are saying, what would Alexander Brand give you in relation to Kovalev? And the people who think that Andre Ward's going to be Kovalev are saying he's been a pro for, I don't know, 20 years. He's an Olympic gold medalist. And it doesn't matter who he's facing before Kovalev, he'll be prepared, right? So Danny Garcia, who is nowhere near has the amateur record, is proven as a pro, passes the eye test in every like aspect of the game, has proven what Andre Ward could do by fighting an Alexander Brand, then fighting Kovalev. He's fighting Sammy Vargas. So it makes no sense this is happening. Like, does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
I really don't.
I know what he's saying. He's saying that all the options that PBC has, they're putting Samuel Vargas in front of him.
Because Enrique
praise him on television.
For whatever reason, you know, now that this isn't a fight that is in favor of MD. See, the Kovalev Ward was in favor of him because he wants to see Kovalev fight Ward, right? So it's different all of a sudden.
Well, that's competitive. Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia is not competitive.
So then why are you mad then? If it's not competitive, why do you care that he's fighting?
Because this is a waste of my time. This is a waste of all of our times as boxing fans. Spike TV. Why can't Spike TV put on? I guess I guess they say the Leo Santa Cruz. They say the Leo Santa Cruz Walters fight got made because Canelo is not fighting a bum in December in New York City. So maybe Danny Garcia could get injured, so we could see two lower level guys, payday wise, fight on Spike TV. Because this is a waste of my time, Ness.
Okay, hey, I'll tell you something, Enrique. What would you rather do? Would you rather see Danny Garcia fight on Spike versus Samuel Vargas, then next year fight Keith Thurman, or would you rather pay again to see Khan versus Canelo? And hence I said again, because for whatever reason there was a bunch of retards that thought Khan was going to win, right? But only them retards thought that. Now, the reason I'm saying again is because we know it wasn't competitive, right?
We know that.
Okay, so we're going to pay for that because that's the world MD lives in. At least we know the fucking Danny is a welterweight fighting another welterweight.
Did I complain about that fucking pay-per-view fight? Yeah, so continue.
I was just going to ask you, did you think Khan was going to win? But
fuck no.
All right, would you pay for it a second time?
I didn't pay. I went to see it in a movie theater the first time. Like it was not.
Would you pay again?
$8 or $12 or whatever it was, $15.
No, and also, I guess I was delusional in the sense that I thought there was a small chance we would get GGG Canelo next, and we didn't. So I was, not to mention the fact that the undercard wasn't horrible. So this is a lot different than a Spike. I don't know.
Right. So did you use Khan, and you too, Ness, did you use Khan versus Canelo a way to gauge Canelo?
No.
I
knew he was going to get knocked out. I thought there was no chance.
The only reason we accepted Canelo was Khan was because we thought we were getting Triple G next.
Right, but still, it's still a outmatched fight for Canelo.
Exactly.
At least Khan has a name, even if you want to argue that.
It's like, oh shit, Khan, a surprise. But Sammy Vargas is a surprise. Like, who's that? Sammy. I thought Sammy Vasquez, or you know what I'm saying. But then the backlash he got from.
Listen,
So the BoxRec King Ness, he's 43 ranked in BoxRec.
I couldn't even find him. And
what was Alexander Brand? He was 30. Remember? Stop. This is what I'm saying. Stop being fucking setting double standards, man. It's the same shit. All he got to do now is fight Thurman. If he don't fight Thurman,
It's not the same shit because what Andre Ward did before, and I wasn't even that happy what Andre Ward did before, but at least he fought Sullivan Barrera, who is a much better opponent than at the time.
Listen, MD. Oh my God, listen. Is Sullivan Barrera more accomplished than Robert Guerrero?
Accomplished or a threat to win in the fight that they had is a different thing.
Is he more accomplished?
No, he's not more accomplished.
What has he done? Who did he beat to get in there with Ward? Tell me.
Listen.
Why are you stuttering?
Let's not pretend. You want an open box? I don't know on the top of my head who he beat. I forgot who he beat.
All right. Who he fought after Ward?
Listen.
Exactly.
The point.
So
no.
You need to bring up names, man. Sullivan Barrera is better than Robert Guerrero, yet you don't know anything about fucking Barrera except that he lost to Ward. Come on. Stop it. You're bugging anyway.
Listen, I remember
open up these phone lines. I'm gonna get to.
No. Okay, Ness.
Go.
I'm not gonna let you get away with that. First off, Sullivan Barrera was an undefeated fighter on like highly
undefeated versus who, man?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
Prospect, an unproven there's at least an unknown. Listen, there's at least an unknown factor that he had a chance to make a fight versus Andre Ward, at least look competitive, right? We already knew Robert Guerrero was washed and way beyond a competitive form versus Danny Garcia, who is fighting a guy who used to fight at 130. It was a joke of a fight. The competitiveness was not equal. So to say that Andre Ward, yes, he fought Paul Smith and he fought another guy who wasn't very good. And I, more than anybody, was complaining about this shit too. So it's even worse than that with Danny Garcia.
Yo, like I said, man,
Danny Garcia
who has Barrera faced, man? Like I said, who has
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Who has he faced? He
so listen.
He hasn't lost yet. He's a reasonable opponent for Andre Ward. You're gonna tell me that you complained about that fight? You're gonna be hypocritical and say when that fight happened you weren't intrigued?
Listen to me. I am not being a hypocrite. I didn't complain about the fight, like I'm not complaining about this fight. Like I didn't complain about fucking Canelo versus Khan, right? Like I didn't complain about Chilemba versus Kovalev, because I understand what is to come. The problem is you would like to set a double standard for the PBC fighters. You can believe that Kovalev and Ward are going to meet.
I'm not setting a PBC for double standards.
Let me remind everyone before I open up the phone lines that even when Kovalev and Ward signed contracts, people were still coming out saying it didn't happen. It ain't going to happen. Look, Ward didn't show up. This, that, and the third. Even Ward took a shot at Kathy Duva and said, Kathy, I showed up because I was at the press conference. But don't forget that. Again, I repeat, you boxing fans are fickle. Even so, don't all those dudes in the chat. I'm like, Ness, ain't no contract signed. Where was the contract for Kovalev Ward? And then when they got signed and Kovalev and Ward ain't show up to the first Los Angeles press conference, what happened then? Didn't we have an immediate reaction show for that too? And everybody was scared too? But I'm the biased one. I keep bringing up analogy after analogy, and there's history. Other people are doing the same exact thing, but one man gets criticized. So Saul could fight Amir Khan in a fight that just because Amir is popular, it's still fucking lopsided. Amir Khan got knocked into oblivion as a 135-pounder. We let a 175-pound lightweight dude knock out Amir Khan for our sheer entertainment. He could have been killed in the ring. But you guys are going to say, Ness, you bugging. That's Amir Khan. He fast. That was the same reason they say he might beat Conor, Mayweather, and Pacquiao, because he fast. He got knocked out real fast. That's what happened.
I mean, at least he was good at his weight class when he fought Rod Sako, wasn't even good at his weight class. I mean, this is not PBC versus HBO. This is just This is 1 second. This is lying. No. This is another level. No.
Rosako wasn't good at his weight class, and you know you're lying. You see, because that fight was set up.
Was he as good as Amir Khan in his weight class?
No. In Rod Sako's weight class, he was not. Remember, he had 2 fights on Showbox right before he got the Danny fight, and one of those fights was for like an eliminator. Go ahead and check it.
I'm pretty sure he was nowhere near
his weight class. So Yes, when he moved up,
No, he was not.
Fight, he
was
was
a producer when we need one. No, but listen,
matter.
but listen. This is not PBC versus HBO. This is Danny Garcia setting another level of being a duck and taking the road of least resistance than any other fighter, even PBC fighters. I'm not I guess putting all PBC fighters in the same category. Obviously, someone like Sean Porter wants to challenge himself and fight the best. So you cannot say that all the PBC fighters have the same mentality. I'm saying that Danny Garcia is the worst of the worst when it comes to cherry picking and making shitty fights for the fans of boxing and taking his career only for money out of all the PBC fighters, in my opinion.
All right, cool. Let me ask you a question now, right, MD? I remember when Salka and Danny Garcia fought each other. Paulie Malignaggi was the commentator, and he was like, damn, I don't care who the opponent was. He looked damn good, damn sharp, and against anybody, that's going to show when he fights them as well. So if he looks damn good, damn sharp against Vargas, right, do you think he's going to look damn good, damn sharp against Thurman?
But the difference is that he doesn't even look damn good, damn sharp against the lower level of opposition. Now, I know Rod Salka, he knocked him out in 2 rounds. But when someone from the outside watches that fight, they see like a guy who shouldn't be in the same ring as the other guy. So it doesn't really, like, I guess, connect with them that guy is the real deal. Like, you have to you could put a lesser fighter in and make another guy look good, but there's a limit in how shitty he could be. And Samuel Vargas definitely falls below that limit.
Hey, Enrique.
Yo.
Name a top welterweight.
Oh, man, shit. I'm going to go right to the top.
One, and let's do this slow. One top welterweight, go.
Keith Thurman.
Okay. Name his biggest win.
Sean Porter.
Okay. Does he have another big win?
Before that, with a name or just like a fight? I mean,
I don't know. You tell me.
I would say his Collazo fight was a big win.
Okay. You understand how old Collazo is, and you understand the perception of Collazo in the sport of boxing as today, right?
Yeah, he's a gatekeeper.
Okay. So do you want me to ask you the question again? What, MD? Would you like to participate?
Ness, this is going to go boring because you're going to say, well, what's his big win? Quintana, Carras, these are all much better fighters. But when Keith Thurman was fighting at welterweight, or when he is fighting at welterweight, than Danny Garcia, there's nothing even close. Like, there's no comparison. Keith Thurman has much better wins at welterweight.
I'm not. Am I disputing that? Am I disputing that?
I don't know.
So why'd you say that?
Because you're going to try to compare Keith Thurman's resume to Danny Garcia's resume.
Am I comparing it? I asked it, does he have a big win? I asked you, what's his big win?
Sean Porter.
Does he have another one?
I mean, all of his decent wins are, I consider.
Does he have another big win?
Luis Collazo.
now, I just want the world to know.
No, wait. When he fought Guerrero, that was a big win. When he fought Guerrero.
So now he's going to contradict himself. A few minutes ago,
that's not contradicting himself. Fighters get old. Fighters get beaten up. When he fought, that's not a contradiction. That's not a contradiction.
So you could keep digging the hole.
That's not a contradiction.
Enrique, this is what he chose to do because he knew he shitted on Guerrero minutes ago. He chose to use Collazo, but he knows Collazo has done what? He never even won a world title. Collazo's only been like an interim or the WBA regular. He's never been the full. You know what I'm saying? So he had to now say Collazo, knowing that that's not even legitimate because legitimately Robert Guerrero has done more. Now, again, we'll keep playing the game, though. Outside of Timothy Bradley, because he's got big wins, right? But I'll let you get him. You want to say Tim Bradley's big wins?
Manny Pacquiao.
Does he got another big win?
Jesse Vargas. Oh, Ruslan Provacanov.
Any other big wins, MD?
Diego Chavez.
You think Diego's a big win? Because you should have gave that to Thurman then. You should have gave that to Thurman then.
He gave Devin Alexander his first loss, who was a very good opponent at that time.
All right. So now what about Sean Porter? He's got any big wins for you guys?
No, but I don't even consider Sean Porter like the upper echelon because he's been beat by the upper echelon. So he's right below those guys. His biggest win, I guess, is Paulie. But again, Paulie was at a point in his career that
big win.
His biggest and far of what? His best win? His best win.
Listen, we're asking the same question.
His best win is Devin Alexander.
Around this time, like why every time we get to you gotta add more. His biggest win, man. If you don't consider Paulie big, well, you say he don't got no big wins, and we move on. Why are you making this difficult?
I guess you could say Adrian Broner or Devin Alexander. He has a bunch of solid wins. I don't.
No. Biggest win. What's his big win? The same question I've been asking you. What's wrong?
Adrian Broner.
Adrian Broner. Amen. What about you, Enrique? You good with that? Sean Porter's biggest win?
I was thinking of who it was that he defeated, and it was Adrian Broner. I just
all right. The both of you answer me. Does he have another big win?
Yeah, Paulie. The way he knocked out Paulie was big.
So you consider Paulie. Hence, I want the public to know. I want the public to know that MD has chosen two.
He was the first one.
My man, what's up? I was in the middle of a sentence. You chosen 2 times to pick 2 opponents, common opponents of Danny Garcia, and say that now they're credible. One in Paulie and the other in Robert Guerrero. I'm just saying.
They're the residuals of these guys. What don't you see in that? Like,
my man, I'm not saying they're credible. I'm asking you the question. You're giving me the answer. Don't be mad at your answer.
The fact that these guys
Paulie, you pick Collazo and you pick Broner all as big wins, not me. You said that.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is why it's not a contradiction is the fact that fighters get old, fighters get beaten up, and he's fighting them after these guys have already fought him.
All right,
that's his choice.
Let's speed my little experiment up, okay? Kell Brook, what's his biggest win?
Sean Porter.
Does he have another?
He doesn't have that many big wins, and we all know that his career when he was in the UK wasn't that. That's why we all pick Sean Porter.
All right, Errol Spence, what's his biggest win?
Probably Chris Algieri.
Jesse Vargas, what's his biggest win?
Saddam Ali. He's definitely not proven. He should not be fighting
Do any of those 2 men have another big win? Jesse Vargas and Errol Spence, do they have another big win?
Errol Spence is not even a titleist, so no.
Okay.
But he does it.
Do you want me to include Pacquiao, who has multiple big wins, or do we have to?
No, we don't need to include Pacquiao.
Okay, so we're excluding him, right? So just to refresh, MD has
wait. You could even put Amir Khan in there if you want to, because he
all
has.
Right. So what's his biggest win? What's his biggest win?
I guess at the time when he beat Zab Judah.
That is his biggest.
Don't laugh at that.
Yo, I'm just saying, dude.
Why are you laughing at that?
I'm gonna explain right now because you're making the case for me. What we've done is systematically go through the top names in the welterweight division and establish that none of them have more than 1 big win each. Okay, outside of the legitimate welterweights who have been there for a multiple amount of years in Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman, according to you guys, has 1 big win. And then you guys are fucking reaching, talking about Collazo's a big win, okay? And then even MD had to backtrack when he already called Guerrero washed up, had to give him credit for Guerrero. Then Danny, again, anybody who's anybody would only give him 1 win.
Keith's the one who washed him up by beating the shit out of him before that. So I don't.
Who?
Keith washed up. Keith was the part of the.
I'm not saying that's Danny's biggest win. We all know that is not. He only has one win.
But you so easily like just say like that they're the same guy when they fought. People decline. Like why you always dismiss that? I don't get that.
Listen to me. I'm not saying they're the same guy, but no one picked Guerrero to beat Keith Thurman.
That's not true. I'm sure more people did than the second time around.
Oh, so because you said that makes it fact? I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna step back and look up the odds for that fight. I'm gonna look up the odds for that fight.
You're a betting man. You always bet. So you're telling me that Keith wasn't a favorite? You're digging a hole. Listen, let's get to some callers anyway. I'm gonna open it up.
I never said he had a favorite. You said that nobody picked Robert Guerrero. Those are 2 different things, Ness. Come on, man.
Over Thurman? Man, we're gonna have. I wouldn't even spend the time to go back and listen to that show, but I'm gonna get to my boomerang. Bruce, talk to me.
That's your man's Danny Garcia. Bruce, what's up?
Yeah, man, this MD guy, man. I mean, everything that you just said, Ness, was about to come out of my mouth. You know the message that I just sent you with the pictures.
Yeah, but Bruce, the rest of the
don't
world
understand
doesn't
how
know.
this is
Bruce, the rest of the world doesn't know. So be very detailed, all right?
Okay, well, what I did is I took a picture of Gennady Golovkin's last 10 wins, and I took a picture of Danny Swift's last 10 wins. And it's really not even comparable.
But why not? Why not?
That you just named as good fighters, because half the guys that they just named of other welterweights good fights are on Danny Garcia's list.
Huh, he's fought them when they're fucking bums. He fought them when they're washed up. How many people give Canelo credit for beating up Shane Mosley, who's a Hall of Famer? I'm just wondering. Because we all knew at that point he was washed up. But again, when Danny Garcia beat somebody like Eric Morales, he wasn't old, he wasn't out of his weight class, he wasn't moved up. These guys have been served up to Danny Garcia. What the fuck don't you guys see about this? When he fights decent opponents, right? He shows high flaws. The second he gets in with an elite guy, he's done. Continue.
Was Matisse washed up?
No, that was his one big win that we all just worship. You guys worship that one big win.
Washed up.
Was who?
Amir Khan. Was he washed up?
Amir Khan.
So that's his other big win that he had many years back, and he has a suspect chin, losing all 5 rounds before that.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
I just want the public to note that now MD has only given one fighter 2 legitimate big wins. Every other guy he's gave a legitimate big win to, he's had to dig in the bag and name a guy like Collazo or Robert or Guerrero. But now and the guy who he's trying to
at 140, Amir Khan had multiple big wins, Ness.
Yeah, and you just said that Garcia has 2 big wins.
Yeah,
you just gave him credit for Matisse
he's not the only boxer in any weight class who has 2 big wins. Some of these welterweights who are young, who haven't had the opportunities to get multiple big wins, don't have 2 big wins. So, okay, it's not really a point.
Wishing on a star.
So how's that his fault?
Whose fault? I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't see your point. I'm just saying that you guys are really delusional when you look at Danny Garcia's career, acting like he's anywhere near in the top of the sport as far as boxing goes.
But you see, this is what you want to do. You want to make it about whatever you want. The topic is Samuel Vargas versus Danny Garcia. The facts are that PVC put out a press release stating that this fight is in lieu of the Keith Thurman fight that is scheduled for the first quarter of 2017. But you want to make it about his big wins, little wins, his cherry picking. Is this different or not? And I'm asking Bruce now. Bruce, is this different from Kovalev Ward and the way they set that whole ordeal up?
Absolutely not.
Why? But why not? Because
No
MD says it's got to be different because those guys were more talented than this guy.
He knew Alexander Brand before he fought Ward? No way.
I didn't know him. I've already admitted to that. I don't know if he'll admit the truth. I don't know. I didn't know who I never even heard of Alexander Brand until that.
And what did we say before that fight? Again, stop bringing up Alexander Brand. We all complained about that fight, and it was not a good fight. It did shitty numbers. I heard that the atmosphere of the fight wasn't good. The attendance wasn't good. So I don't see why 2 wrongs make a right in this regards. I don't.
No, because what we're saying is, if this is like the Kovalev Ward,
just hate it.
Yeah, if this is like the Kovalev Ward deal, then all right, well, fuck it. I'll take Sammy Vasquez or Vargas if I'm gonna get Keith Thurman next year, in the beginning of next year.
So if you're asking me, am I happy that we're getting a fight next year? Of course I am really happy. But again, I'm talking about this fight right now. I feel like it's such a mismatch that's a waste of TV time and a budget that it's really is a joke, and that's all I feel about it. So
but that's what I'm saying, though, MD. Like, I honestly felt the same way you feel about Chilemba. Like, I didn't never think Chilemba would last 12 rounds, and I can't believe that you even.
But you know Chilemba, and you do not know this Sammy Vargas, or I totally forgot his name because he's.
But that's the point. The disparity in skill, in my opinion, between the two is no different. Like when Kovalev
I disagree.
Whatever was presented to me, I thought Kovalev would knock him out. A lot of us did. Come on, MD. Bruce,
Yeah, as did I, but I would not say the discrepancy of skill was in. Bruce, do you really believe that the discrepancy of skill between Isaac Chilemba and Sergey Kovalev and Danny Garcia and Vargas are the same? Do you really?
No, not the same. Not the same in the literal sense. The same meaning, like both men are gonna wipe the other men out. That was my opinion, because Kovalev is the
difficulty is what we watch, Nestor. We watch boxing because we want to see people box. It's the competitiveness of boxing. So even though one guy is a 10-1 favorite and we think he's going to win, and he has to show more wrinkles of his game to win, it's different than him fighting a 100-1 guy who should not be in the same ring. This is why we watch the sport. We don't watch the sport to just see two dudes who shouldn't. We don't want to see a world star hip hop knockout. We're watching boxing. So this is like my issue.
Then how the fuck are you such a big Gennady Golovkin fan?
Because what he's doing against the left one. Well, it's funny because literally the only thing you could say to defend Danny Garcia is bringing up Gennady Golovkin. But having said that, I value the level of opposition. And one second. Let me. You ask me a question. I value what Gennady Golovkin's doing against his level opposition, the way he's doing it, very solid, right? It's frustrating being a Gennady Golovkin fan to not see him get the best opportunities to fight the best fighters. You say Andre Ward, it's in a different weight class. It didn't happen. A lot of the middleweights don't want to fight him, but what he's doing against his current level of oppositions is impressive. He shows very little flaws. So what you disagree with anything I said? Because I just
35. He's fought 35 cherries though. He's the only.
No, that's where that's where you sound uneducated in your call.
Lines are lighting up. Let me get to some other people. I'll be back to you because you got that boom I ran. Listen, and I don't agree. There's no way that he's fought 35 cherries. But listen, let's open it up. Let's just see, because you feel the way you feel. Let's see what the streets feel. Talk to us.
What's up? Samuel Vargas, Danny Garcia, knockout fight.
2016's TBV Appreciation Night. 646 Chris, call of the year. What's going on, Chris?
Yo, what's going on, Ness? What up, Casual? What up, MD?
What up, Chris?
And I think that this is a good fight. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a good fight for Danny to come in, to do what he's going to do against Vargas, and then like I said, he's going to fight Keith Thurman. But one thing, Boxing MD, I think you're going a little bit hard on PBC without really putting everything in perspective and really looking at the things that PBC's done. When you look at all the fights that PBC's given us, I can go down the line. We had Huck versus Glowacki versus Steve Cunningham, Danny Garcia versus Lamont Peterson, Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner Morris, Thurman versus Porter, Earl Spence versus Chris Algieri. The list goes on and on. PBC has put on great fights. And on top of that, Thomas Williams Jr. was ranked at light heavyweight when he fought Adonis Stevenson. He had also knocked out Edwin Rodriguez in order to get that fight with Adonis Stevenson. And as far as Sullivan Barrera, he was the #1 win contender in the IBF at the time when he fought Andre Ward. He was called as mandatory. He also beat Curl Marat, who Bernard Hopkins had went to decision with in order to beat him. So Sullivan Barrera was a quality win at 175. So if Danny Garcia is going to take this warm-up fight to fight Keith Thurman eventually, I think there's nothing wrong with it.
But I mean, like
After that, you call yourself a boxer. You call yourself Boxing MD. Didn't you pick Victor Postal to beat Terrence Crawford?
Yeah, I made a bad pick. I'm the only one. I'm the only one here, and I know you didn't pick Felix Diaz to beat.
I want to stick to reading your book to being a doctor because what happened?
I mean, I know you didn't pick Felix Diaz to beat Sammy Vasquez. So I mean, you can't, like, if you go back and look at my picks. I mean, I could go fight by fight. You cannot cherry pick one bad pick that I had to assume my boxing knowledge. Also, I'm not saying PBC versus HBO. Like, you actually made a lot of my points against Ness by talking about Thomas Williams and all these other guys. I'm talking about Danny Garcia. This is not PBC versus HBO. This is Danny Garcia, his choices in his career. So this is not HBO versus PBC. You haven't misunderstood.
Okay, that's fine. But if you look at Danny Garcia's resume, He's beating Amir Khan. He's beating Zab Judy. He's beating Lucas Matisse. He's beating Robert Guerrero. And he's beating Paulie Malignaggi, who were all champions at one point. And on top of that, if you look at Danny Garcia's resume, he has one of the best resumes at 147 outside of Tim Bradley, who I think has the best resume at 147 outside of Manny Pacquiao. When you really break down resumes, because Tim Bradley's beaten Devin Alexander. He took Devin Alexander's oath.
Yeah, but how many welterweights has he fought?
And he's also taken Jesse Barker, bro.
How many welterweights has he fought?
As who? Tim Bradley fought or Danny Garcia?
Danny Garcia. This is his first one, actually.
Danny Garcia's fought in. Danny Garcia's fought in 2.
You know that this is his first true welterweight. I think that's actually important to note. This is Danny Garcia's first true welterweight opponent. So to assume that he's the best in a division, that this is his first.
Technically, it's not a true welterweight, MD, because this guy's a junior middleweight who has come down a few times. Check his resume. Stop doing that to yourself, man.
No, but Ness, is this not the first true welterweight he fought?
So first you gave him credit for Robert Guerrero. Now you're taking it and you're giving it for.
I'm not. I'm saying, is this the first true welterweight? You don't answer to my questions.
No, is Robert Guerrero only a true welterweight for Thurman?
No, he's a welterweight that moved up. He's not a true welterweight.
But you said that's Thurman's biggest win.
Okay, natural welterweight. Is that a better term?
Man, I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
Jay from Orlando.
The answer is no then.
Hey, MD, Jay subscribe to the Patreon because he wants he wants that exclusive, that's only there. So speaking of exclusive, me and MD had another great debate like this that could be found on Patreon on our Luis Ortiz on that one too. It got hot in there. Jay, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. Hey, right now I'm filled with mixed emotions. I ain't gonna lie. Part of me is like, what the hell is Danny Garcia doing? Like when I saw the guy that you picked, and I was like, why did name sound familiar? Then I remembered Earl Spence knocked him out in 4 rounds on an undercard that wasn't even televised. And now this guy's a main event on a PBC card. But then part of me is like, oh well, damn, Keith's gonna get him in the first quarter. So I'm happy for that. I just hope they apply pressure on and they keep applying pressure on him. And PBC is giving what we wanted, but the only thing I would say with that though is lately in the 3rd and 4th quarter, there's supposed to be some fights that were supposed to be made. It haven't been made yet, and they haven't been announced yet, and they should be easy fights. For instance, J Rock versus the Charlo brother, another fight. What's his name? From England, supposed to be fighting Mayweather's boy in super middleweight. I can't remember the guy's names right now.
Babu Jack is supposed to be fighting James DeGale. So you're talking about?
Yeah, Babu Jack, exactly. Babu Jack and DeGale, James DeGale. Those two guys haven't fought yet. But I think Danny, I believe Danny has no choice but to do this. He can't run anymore. You can't keep fighting Rob Sockers every time, every day. Like, he's going to have to fight Keith Thurman next. It's going to have to happen. And he's going to have to get in there and buckle up. He does come and he does do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man, when he fight. That's all I pretty much got. So I appreciate y'all.
All right, Jay, and thank you again for signing up to the Patreon, brother. Check out that feed, man. Make sure you download the app too, because that's the best way to get the notifications every time we post something exclusive there, which we have, man. Like I said, me and MD had another great show where we did a TBV from all angles on Luis Ortiz, and we actually reviewed that Brian Jennings fight, and we took a few callers too. It got ugly. It was pretty cool. Let me see here. We got no producer today. Enrique, I might have heard you say something. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask MD if he thought, or yourself, that if you think that Samuel Vargas is going to be a competitive fight, and how well you think Danny's going to look.
Nah, listen, forget if it's going to be, Enrique. I'm going on record saying that it better not be. I mean, he better try and do better than Earl Spence, because Earl Spence came out and said, damn, I thought I had the screenshot of it. Yeah. But Earl Spence came out and said something like, let me just go through it.
It said something like, yo, Danny said I need to pay dues, but he's fighting the guy already knocked out.
Exactly. So Earl Spence did it in 4, and you know, let's find out exactly what year that was.
When he was a prospect,
right on.
When he was an undercard in Brooklyn, that wasn't even on TV.
That was the night that Lamont Peterson and Danny Garcia fought.
So that happened
April
11th, 2015. 347. Oh, this might be more. No, this is not. 347, you're live. Who's this?
Paul Yearwood.
Paul Yearwood, what's going on, brother?
Chilling, bro. Ah, man, first off, I want to tell Ness, I just want to say, don't let MD bring the worst out of you, bro, because y'all was getting ugly in there in the beginning of the show before any callers was called. But let me speak. Let me burn. Danny Garcia, Cherry Garcia, he's out here cherry picking. My man, listen, Sammy Vargas, I literally never really heard of him. My girl pulled up his box rec and all of that and did all this gadget spins right here. And, dude, he did lose to Earl Spence as well, but he also lost to Pablo Munguia, who's like 25-11. And I've never agreed with MD in my life, but today was the first day I agreed with this dude the whole way through this. I ain't gonna even lie, because I don't see there is no defense for this fight. There's no defense for it. You can say the Andre Ward, the Kovalev fight is similar, but the fact that fight was signed and sealed already when Alexander Brands and the Chilembas was going on, it makes it a little bit more solid for us to watch that. Just as the caller before me said about the other fights that didn't, the Bottle Jacks that didn't happen, and the Gale and all them other fights that don't happen, they never signed. We had to watch the Gale and Butte and the Gale Butte and Bottle Jack Butte. We had to watch Butte get all these chances, and they're not even fighting each other. You know what I mean? Like, the fights were great, but that's because Butte is a name and he's a ranked fighter, and they actually fought a ranked fighter in there in between. Alexander Brand wasn't a ranked fighter in my eyes. That was an ugly fight. You know what I mean? Chilemba wasn't high on my list either. That didn't look as great as it could have. We don't want to see these terrible fights keep going down. You know what I mean? Like, we want to talk about PVC and stuff like that. PVC put on some great fights. They put on some shitty fights. The one fight you got to recommend is Richard Comey versus Robert Easter. That's one of the best fights PVC will ever have. That was a war, and it was a beautiful thing to watch. But some of their fights were shitty, and the main event to that fight was shitty. So, listen, we just want good boxing out here. And Danny Garcia doing this shit right here don't bring me no good boxing in my eyes, in my opinion. Now, Thurman, Garcia, that happens, we cool. But if it don't happen, people talk about Danny Garcia versus Thurman looking crazy right now, because if it don't happen, it's egg on y'all face. We don't know. We don't know. PBC can say all they want, but we don't know, Sway. We don't know. So that's my call. I love y'all. Sign on Patreon. Put that money up where your mouth is, because they doing the damn thing in TBV. Watch out.
Paul, wait a minute. I know you said you don't care. I know you say you don't care and everything, but we need you to legitimately answer the question. What, in your opinion, is different about Kovalev Ward and the way that fight got done and this one?
Okay. The only difference is a signed contract.
All right. Now,
Andre Ward, Kovalev.
All right, but now, weren't we still making shows because Ward didn't show up to press conferences? Wasn't Kathy Duva saying that this fight wasn't going to happen? I mean,
no, when he didn't show up to the press conference, yeah, Kathy Duva went on a tirade, but the contracts were still signed. We still
exactly.
After, so
but my point is
that was going to go down.
But my point is,
you know, we're glad that it did go down, but still, I believe it was still a go. Like, he had just came off the fight. He was 4 days removed from the fight, wasn't he?
Now my point is, even though the contracts were signed, you fickle boxing fans still assumed that it wasn't going to happen, right?
Not me.
Oh, not you. Not you. I just wanted to ask you that, but thanks, brother.
Hey, Ness.
Calling in. See you at the next pay-per-view, Paul. You know,
Yo, let me say something.
FYI, for all you weirdos in the chat, talking about Ness don't want to bully this guy. This is the same Paul that's always at my house for pay-per-views, you weirdos.
Yeah, but Ness, let's be real here. Andre Ward's never said that he's only fighting for that money or whatever the fuck Angel
Garcia and Danny got nothing to do with each other. Stop it.
That's cool though, right? It doesn't matter. Paul said we don't know, right? We all blame Danny Garcia, but we don't know how much power he has to control who his next opponent is. But we do know that PBC or Al Heyman is his manager and there's matchmakers. And the next fight that's matched against him is Keith Thurman. So let it unfold.
Well, Ness, can you at least concede? Can you at least concede?
Casual gets it because he has heard that they're going to give us XYZ and they give us XYZ. So if they're saying we're getting XYZ, I'm believing we getting DSG versus one time. That's going to be real easy in the beginning of next year.
So Paul was right. We don't know.
Wait, can you at least concede the fact that we always talk about they get 3 names, right? You always say this, and if you take the word of everybody in PBC like you do in some things, do you believe that they get 3 names, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, Angel Garcia's gone on record on some of my interviews saying that.
And can you at least admit that Danny Garcia picks that last name each time?
That last name? So Matisse was the last name? When he was
he didn't have those 3 names back in the day. He didn't have that power. He didn't even have a big win. Or I guess Amir Khan was his big win, but he was in no position to have those 3 names.
Have that name. What do you mean? That whole 3 names exist because he gives you the big fight or others. It's up to you to fight the top dog.
But I'm under the impression that only the top guys have the leverage to have 3 names. I mean, Sammy Vargas, they had to go back to.
Different. Listen, it's different. Like for a guy for Earl, if he's telling, I'm assuming if he's telling Heyman, like, yo, I want Keith, Keith got to say yes, right? Keith got to say yes.
Yeah. So if you take the word for the 3 names, that means he's in a position that he has the power to have 3 names, right? So Danny Garcia seems to be taking the least one. The path of least resistance.
What we got to do is let it unfold because this is just an immediate reaction. So, like, I mean, everybody's gonna want to make it a me thing. Like, yo, Danny, I don't got no fucking. He ain't my blood. You guys are nuts. So,
but you do have a Latin Goonie hat. You should have wear it. You should have worn it.
Yo, I have a Latin Goonie hat because I'm a Latin Goonie. 614, you're up.
Yeah, man. And it's Jay Will, man. You know,
Jay Will, what up? We ain't got no producer today, man. You know, it's Thursdays and Sundays and Saturdays.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I'm at you, Ness, man. I'm at you, man. Man, you about to get that. Forget that Colt 45, man. You get that AK ready for yourself, man. I'm about to spray you all the way down, man. You're trying to pretty much conflate like 2 different things together as far as his resume and, you know, what he's doing at welterweight or what he's done at welterweight. Those are 2 different things. MD touched on it, but then he got kind of cut off. I mean, what this man has done since he's gotten to the welterweight division and since he's got that belt, he has tried to strategically just buy time until he's forced to fight somebody who's a legitimate threat. You can't say he's been some type of fighter that's willing to challenge himself at all at welterweight. You can't say that at all. So, and at this point, I mean, it's not like he's just like the #1 contender or he's the #2. He has the belt that everybody wants to have. And if you're going to act like that with that type of belt, man, people got the right to say something, man. People got the right to be like, hey, man, you cherry picking. You got the belt. And you sitting up here fighting. I mean, The Rock, I ain't going to say Rock Soccer because that was before the belt. But I mean, this Sammy Vargas stuff is silly, man.
So how exactly is it not like the deal for Ward? Just to be clear.
I mean, the man just touched on it. Why? I mean, I ain't got to touch on that. He clearly said it. I mean, there was an actual contract, and then you try to throw Chilemba's name in the mix, man. I almost wanted to throw my phone out the window, man. Trying to say Chilemba was like was something like Sammy Vargas.
No. I never said that. But I will ask you the same thing I asked MD. Did you think he was gonna get knocked out or not?
They think who Chilemba was?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to lose. Yeah.
You expected him to go 12 rounds, Jay Will. That's what you're going to say from Ohio. You expected Chilemba to go 12 rounds?
I'm not going to say I expect him to go 12 rounds. I mean, but what's your point?
What's the difference then? Perception is perception. If you expect Kovalev to run through Chilemba and you expect Danny to run through Vargas, what the fuck is the difference? They both in lieu of a big fight that we want.
That's the difference. It's a difference. It's a difference. It's a difference. No matter if you're competitive or not with Kovalev, you can have a good competitive fight with Kovalev. He still might knock you out. That's his style of fight. So don't confuse that. Don't confuse that. I knew Chilemba would give him some difficulties, but not that much difficulties. But, you know, who knows? Man, they really said Kovalev didn't really train well for that fight.
Jay Will, don't you understand the meaning of the Chilemba fight? He's not supposed to pose a real threat because then the Ward fight wouldn't happen. So for all you guys who think, wait a minute. Think about this for a minute. MD, you're so smart. Think about this. Chilemba isn't supposed to pose a real threat. We can all be clear on that, right?
Pose a real threat. I mean, wait.
Is supposed to win because
he's supposed to win, but pose a real threat means that at least he's a legitimate opponent that had the chance to win, right?
That's fine.
We all thought he was going to win, but I mean, it's not the Ness again.
All right. So this is my point. You think highly of Chilemba? I mean, excuse me, Kovalev, right?
I think he's a good fighter. Yes,
he's a good fighter, right? He's the top of his division, right?
Yeah.
He's not ducking. He's not dodging, right?
No.
So for him to get in lieu fight at the level of Chilemba makes sense, right?
Yeah. Okay. What's wrong with that fight?
Listen, now you and Jay Will obviously think Danny has been not fighting legitimate fights at 147, ducking and dodging, right? Doing all that good stuff, right?
He hasn't fought an Isaac Chilemba or even close to that at 147.
He hasn't. You said it. He hasn't fought an Isaac Chilemba or even close.
Why? Just because you don't know Chilemba doesn't mean he's not a good fighter. I've seen him fight multiple times. He's a good.
I've seen him fight more times than you. Knock it off.
Well, then why are you dismissing it?
Let him go.
Because I know he ain't good. He ain't gonna beat Kovalev like Samuel Vargas isn't gonna beat Danny. But the difference is, just like you guys already assuming Danny is no good. And that's why he's like the easy pickings. He's cherry picking because he's not good. Okay. So that's why they didn't put him in there with an in lieu fight with an Earl Spence, because he might not make it to Thurman. But there's no business with Thurman and Earl right now. There's business with Danny and Thurman. But if Danny loses, because all you guys don't think he's good, think about it. Is he good, or did you thought he lost to Herrera? Didn't you think who else you thought he lost to, MD? Herrera, Lamont Peterson. So how the fuck they gonna get their money back on Danny if he loses right now versus who you want him to fight instead? Is there business with Andre Berto and Thurman, or is there business with Danny Garcia and Thurman?
Listen, we recognize that, or at least I recognize that, and that's why I do not take Danny Garcia seriously as a boxer. I recognize everything you just said. I totally understand that.
Ding, 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 ding.
And this is why when he was not trying to fight Manny Pacquiao,
but this
one second, Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman, or any of those guys, it was going to be a loss. So he's buying time to get that fight that he's going to lose. And I think that his father, who loves him, like, he says some ridiculous shit, but there's one thing I do know, that he stands up for his son. He knows that. So, and they're trying to make as much money as they can. And as someone who watches boxing and understands the sport, I do not take him seriously.
Now, this is the difference between you and me and all you little fickle boxing fans that's calling in, right? We've been here before. We've been here before, okay? And regardless that you guys think it's been a long time ago, regardless, we was here before, okay? They made Danny catch a cab to that Amir Khan fight.
Never been in a limo. Never been in a limo.
Then he knocked him out. Okay? We've been here before, where the whole world was saying Danny don't deserve it. You right, Jay Will. You are right. You are right at 140, but the doubt was always there. You always doubted him. And then again, the time came and they said he won't fight him. He ain't gonna fight him. He's a machine. And what he do? He fought him. And he beat him. And he proved he wasn't a machine. And here we are again. I'm telling you. What do you mean with Dog, you can't talk about, listen, J. Will, hold on, J. Will, hold on. You a hardcore fan. You know Postal was no one. He represented nothing, and that's why they overlooked him. And Postal only got a shot versus Crawford because they don't have any.
It's why he fought Rod Salka.
Huh?
It's why he fought Rod Salka, because Postal was a nobody. It's true, Ness. That's who we fought. That's who we fought instead of Victor Postal. Rod Salka. They could have fought Victor Postal right then, and he didn't.
Who was Postal signed to?
Hey, but
who was? Hold on a minute, because everybody calls in here acting like they hardcores, but are you really? Who was Postal signed to?
Top Rank.
Answer me.
Top Rank.
Top Rank, right? And what fight had Top Rank and Al Heyman done?
Wasn't the Lomachenko fight versus the Gary Russell fight done? Or
No.
Oh, but you didn't see that fight, right?
No, that was what? That was mandatory. That was.
And what was the Victor Postal fight, Ness? I wish I had a fucking soundbite. Goodbye, Ness.
So why did Victor Postal take the step aside money? You can't step aside without taking
because maybe he understood that Danny Garcia. He had understood Danny Garcia is the A side, right? And as someone like Victor Postal, who comes from the Ukraine, that was his opportunity, and maybe he didn't think that Danny Garcia, because you think that he's something heroic, wasn't going to be such a bitch and duck him. That's exactly what he thought.
They will. I think that MD is forgetting they paid Postal step aside money so they could get the bigger fight with Lamont Peterson, who is fucking known in boxing, not Victor Postal.
But he took the step aside money because he thought he was going to get the fight next, and he didn't.
Instead of lying to the audience like they ducked him to fight Salka, right? Now, again, so since you're saying that he took step aside money, he didn't. It's a duck, though, right? So, okay, let me ask you this, Jay Will. Did Adrian Broner duck Maidana by taking step-aside money not to fight him and letting Maidana fight fucking Mayweather? Because if that's a duck, well, then this is – if Danny ducked Postal, who took money, well, then what is that? If everyone who takes the step-aside money is also allowed to take money and say that they've been ducked, that sounds stupid. Because if you don't want to be done, no, MD. Let's be clear to the casual fans that don't understand business.
That's not true, man. That's not true in all cases, man. That's not true.
So Jay Will, wait a minute. So Jay Will, so wait a minute. So wait a minute. So if you offer me step aside money and I say no, I don't want your money, I want to fight, what's gonna happen then?
You got to drop the belt.
I mean, you can try to make the fight.
Danny would drop the belt. If Danny really is ducking, listen to me, Jay Will. Jay Will, if Danny really was ducking Postal and Postal said, no, I want no money, I want the fight, Danny got to vacate or fight. You know it and I know it.
Do you know what happens in this business meeting, Ness? They go to shake somebody's hand and they go, I'm going to give you X $100,000, right? And next, you're going to get this next fight. You're going to get the big fight next. And a lot of these boxers don't understand, have a good lawyer, understand that business, right? And boxing does them wrong consistently.
I'm going to hit you with the same thing Bruce hit you with, dog. Whose fault is that? Now I got to be lawyers for fucking fighters who make millions of dollars? Come on, man. So
blame the boxers now.
Wait a minute. So I want the public to hear that Danny ducked Postal because he took step aside money and he didn't have a good lawyer who told him this would have been the wrong decision. Come on, man. You're fucking fishing right now with some long ass.
I'm saying that he did not take the step aside money and was told that Danny Garcia is going to vacate the belt and you're going to be fighting for the vacant title. That's not what happened. They took step aside money because they were told to fight next.
Again,
why else do you take step aside money?
MD, again.
You accept the fact that the guy's the A side and has that ability.
MD, if you want the fight, you don't take the step aside money. What you saw was greed. Okay, he thought to himself, then they're gonna let me listen to me. They're gonna let me fight on the undercard. Did he not fight on one of the undercards? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And they probably told him what you said. Again, whose fault is that he didn't make a smart business move?
It's greed from the guy who took the step aside money, who was told
it's a free fight, man. It's a free fight. Listen, think about that. If they say
it's greed from the poor contender of a champion who, typically speaking, what do you mean? Poor.
You're trying to pull poor boxing.
You're gonna tell me someone like Victor Postal financially made it? Wait.
Yo, this guy's trying to pitch Postal's poverty to me.
I'm not saying. I'm giving you one example, Ness.
Yo, you said the poor Postal.
I'm giving you one example, right? Can you just listen instead of just laugh it off? Because this, I think, is a point that you don't understand. That the person who sometimes accepts the step aside money from the guy who is the A side, who has the power, right? Victor Postal didn't yet make it yet. So if he's told that I know he should be fighting you next, but like, we'll give you step aside money if you allow voluntarily to him to get his voluntary next, and we'll fight next. How stupid would that be for him not to take that? That's not greed, Ness. That's out of necessity, and that's what you do as a boxer,
right, so
as a prize fighter, Ness.
Let me ask you this. Why did Triple G take the step aside money from Canelo?
Because he was told the same thing. He was told the same thing. And then what happened? Canelo.
Don't you consider yourself smart, though?
Well, he wasn't going to fight him anyway, so he got the money off of him. He got the money out of him, and then he dropped the belt, and the same thing happened. But he got free money, so
right now we're having a show where we're questioning Danny Garcia possibly ducking or vacating not to fight Thurman. You didn't question Canelo?
I mean, what do you mean? Of course I did, and I thought there'd be an outside. The difference is that Danny Garcia has proven to vacate a belt to avoid a fight. Canelo before that has not. So that was the first time, and that's what really changed the attitude of a lot of hardcore boxing fans about Canelo, because he chose to drop a belt to avoid a fight. Danny Garcia has already done that, and he's also had gimme fights. So it's not the same thing, Ness.
All right. 404, you're up.
GT Kid in Atlanta, man. How's everybody doing?
What's up, GT Kid?
Look, I'm gonna get straight to it, man. I'm agreeing with almost everything MD is saying and Jay Will is saying, man. Danny Garcia, Canelo Alvarez they're killing the sport, man. And Danny Garcia, I don't even want to talk about 140 because you can't ride 140 forever. I think the Lucas Ortiz fight, he held a lot. There's a lot of clinching. We don't have to talk about that. He fought a bunch of fights at 143 in his career before he was a champion at 140 and after 140. He fought Lamont Peterson at 143, and then he fights. So he's already acclimated to what welterweight is like. He comes to welterweight. He fights past prime feather-fisted Malinaji at 47. Then he fights washed-up Robert Guerrero, who got put to sleep on his feet by Martinez for the WBC. Then he fights nobody, and he just holds the belt. And then he's offered Pacquiao. I heard talks about Bradley, Thurman, Terrence Crawford, and what the fuck do we get? This is what the fuck we get. And this is why I love this sport. But this is why I hate this sport. This is why I hate that I love this sport. Because this, and then when you defend this, you're co-signing and endorsing this nonsense that Danny Garcia is doing. This is pathetic. It's pathetic. Danny Garcia is a dead man at 147. If you pay attention, you can't not notice it. He's done. If he fights Thurman, he loses. Bradley, Porter, Broner, Pacquiao, Floyd. It doesn't matter. He's done. Once he steps up at 147, he's finished. Mauricio Herrera beat that ass. Lamont Peterson beat that ass. So I'm just waiting for it to happen. I'm not even going to watch this garbage. It's sad that this is what we get, though. And you're okay with it, Ness. You're sitting here defending this man the same way you defended Canelo the other night, which is ridiculous, too, that he won't fight Triple G. That you come to and you fight 8 fights at 155, and then you say, well, I'm not a 160-pound fighter. You already been out of 154. So you can't play both sides of the fence.
Can't force a man to move up, man.
That's why I hate this
Yo,
sport.
if we ain't forcing Golovkin to move up, we can't force him.
He already moved up.
He never moved up. He never fought at 160.
Middleweight division.
He never fought at 160.
155. Yes. Are you saying that 155 is not the middleweight division?
I'm saying he never went up to 160.
No, Ness, that's factually incorrect. The caller's right. In boxing,
what are you talking
about? No, it's factually incorrect.
No, did I
factually incorrect?
Yo, he asked me a question, and I never said, no, caller. I'm saying that the middleweight division isn't starting at 150. I never said. So for you to say I'm factually incorrect about what? I never even answered his question, liar.
You said he never moved up. He did. The second you move past 147,
he never fought at 160. That's what I said. 160. Would you like me to rephrase it and say he never weighed in at 160? Is that what you want?
Well, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. You're doing it again because it comes to 155, which is the 160 division. Fights Cotto.
No. What I'm doing. Listen, and you heard the timer.
Then he goes to 54 and fights Liam Smith. It's bullshit.
Hey,
bullshit.
If he can make the weight, he can make the weight. He can make the weight. He can make the weight.
If you can make the weight, then if you can, okay, then don't tell people that you're coming to 155 to get the belt, that you're gonna fight Triple G, and then dump the belt in the fucking trash and run back to 54 and strip naked to make fucking weight.
Dude, this is history. All right, this is history. You guys act like these fighters don't tell you things, and then it doesn't happen. MD, how many times did Mayweather and Pacquiao tell us they was gonna give us a fight?
Fighters have told us things that they were going to do and didn't do. But I'll tell you one thing, that you say that this is how it's been and this is how it's always been, right? The fact that catchweights are not like, we used to see boxing have 15 rounds. We used to see same day weigh-ins, right? I mean, this fucking bastardizing weight classes, whether this guy did it or that guy did it or whatever the fuck, it ruins the sport. It actually makes it not a sport. If you want to be honest. Without weight divisions, there is no sport. Without no weight divisions, there is no sport. Just letting you know that.
I'm not denying that, but again,
it becomes a circus.
It still is what it is, though. Like, how could you crucify one man? Canelo's doing the same thing.
Yeah, and Canelo's getting a lot of hate for it from me and from a lot of other boxing fans, right?
I don't think so. 51,000 people came to see him, and he sold 300,000 pay-per-view.
Okay, but you know what? Like, sometimes people, this is a boxing show, right? And sometimes people who watch a lot of boxing, they don't necessarily go with the agenda that's being pushed for us, right? So, in my opinion, and some of the other callers' opinions, they're not happy of this trend, and you're just willing to accept it, right? There are boxers who—
I'm not willing to accept it, but again, you see, what you guys want to, I guess, lie to yourselves about is the competitive nature of these fights. So when they tell me Gennady Golovkin is fighting Joe Schmo, it's no different from when they tell me Gennady Golovkin is fighting Dominic Wade, right?
Your point is that Dominic Wade is Joe Schmo.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dominic Wade was definitely not a good fight or a competitive fight. But again, Dominic Wade was a mandatory and is nowhere near fucking Vargas.
No. Don't go there. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm saying is they're on the same level. Like Joe Schmo and Dominic Wade. Like the outcome is the same. Golovkin wins by knockout, right?
But again, and this is something I will repeat again, and you have to please try to understand this, that it is not the same outcome based on the level of difficulty of the person inside the ring is not the same thing. We are not watching the same thing. It is not as impressive. It is not the same thing.
You keep taking out the key factor that if there is a deal, that fight in lieu of the bigger fight cannot be a fight that can cause the bigger fight to not happen. Don't you understand that? And if you think Danny is not good, why are you assuming they're gonna give him?
You should let him fight Heather Hardy then. I mean, so like who do you want in the fight, Ness? And why is this on TV?
I pick Vargas for Danny.
No, I'm saying that if you're saying give him a fighter that will give us nothing, not a competitive nature, not a decent fighter who you want to see on TV, gives you nothing. Why is this even on TV? And the fact is that if you watch this and you support this, you're buying the bullshit that they're selling us. But he should be.
I just want you to
But
remember.
actually, if you fought Heather Hardy, I think
we're gonna play
Shields,
this
I think
back,
it would get some attention. You know what I mean? At least
play this back as we get more opponents for other fighters. We're gonna play this back, is all I'm saying, because I see guys acting as if this is some new trend that Danny started. I'm gonna go to Skype and get to obviously one of our patrons. Andre, talk to us.
Yo, good evening, fellas. Man, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I was in my classroom today. I got the tweet. And I'll say, what the fuck is going on? And, I don't blame Danny because he's told who to fight and when and where. But my question is, at the end of the day, I'm more of a bookman, research type of guy. Where is the WBC role in all this? Because I looked up the rules, and on page 12 of his rules, Danny's supposed to defend his title at least one more time this year. Somebody, Ness, help clear this up for me a little bit. How is it that Danny's not defending this title? It's been over 200 days, and according to the rules, he's supposed to defend the title. I'm just asking. I'm not complaining. I just want to hear.
No. I'm just saying this is the same WBC that didn't force Sergio Martinez to get his shot at Cotto at the right time. Then they didn't force Cotto to give Gennady his shot at the right time. Then they didn't force Canelo to give Gennady his shot a second time at the right time. I mean, that they extend. They do extensions. That's what it's called. As soon as Danny fights this fight, he probably already talked to Mauricio, and it's like, yo, we're going to fight Thurman for unification. So for Mauricio, it's bigger. It's more prestigious, a unification. He gives him the little hallway pass, and he's good till next year, just like Deontay. It's like, yo, he's a big name. He's going to be getting knockouts. Oh, you broke your hand? No problem. Here's your hall pass. 90 days and you're back.
Cool. I mean, I understand, because I'm not going to come up on a show and start screaming and rah. Because at the end of the day, I'm a fan, and I'm not happy with the situation, but I can only watch what they give us. But at the end of the day, I was just trying to figure out how did the rules work and everything. I've never really understood the hold of the title. I thought you had to defend it, but thank you for clearing it up, man. And that's about it.
No. Listen, you got to defend it, but know that these guys get. They get passes, man. They get passes all day.
Of course. I definitely understand, man. But look, man, before I go, everybody support that Patreon, man. I'm definitely getting my money's worth. And you guys are missing out on some good content, man. Support. I'll let the next man get up and spill his plea, man. I'll holler at you guys later, man.
All right, Dre. Thanks again. Anthony Wilson, talk to us.
Yo, what's good, Ness?
What's up?
First off, I want to send a rest in peace to my man, Tommy. You ain't got no job for it. You know what I mean? From the Martin show, everybody loved him, man. Second, prayers up for Adrian Broner. Everybody I know be having sucker attacks out here, man, wanting people to pass away and stuff, man, and making jokes and light of stuff like that, man. But it's no games, man. If he really got some issues going on in his life, man, he got a family, man, so send prayers up. Third, this Danny Garcia, comparing it to Kovalev and Ward, it's no comparison, bro. We know Andre Ward moved up in weight because he was coming after Kovalev. And the deal was made that he would be able to have 2 fights before he fought Kovalev, and there was a contract signed. There's nothing in the works that shows us any kind of proof that Danny Swift, 6 toes, cherry eating Garcia is going to fight Keith Thurman next. There's nothing in the contract. We see the struggles with Jacobs and Triple G right now. You know what I mean? So there's no guarantee that that's absolutely going to happen. So there's no comparison on that tip at all. I don't care what the level of competition that Ward might have had. It doesn't matter, because we all know that the end outcome was him going to fight Kovalev. We don't know what the end outcome is going to be for Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? And, I'm really curious to find out how much he's going to get paid to fight this dude, man. Do you have any idea about that?
Nah, man.
Come on, Ness.
Maybe soon. Maybe soon. Press conference is tomorrow, man. Let's see if I can make it out to Philly.
Hey, and Ness, the second Angel tells you, just report it because it'll be boxing news.
I'll tell you what. If I hear he's making a good 1.5, if he's making any M's for fighting this scrub, I'm gonna go to Philly myself and find this dude and give him a beat down. Word up, man. Like, come on, you robbing the boxing community, man. I need you to have several seats, man. You and your pops, man. Y'all robbing the box. This dude, Danny, has been robbing the boxing community. Okay? If anybody has been getting off with these M's for fighting nobodies, it's Mr. Garcia. Okay, I get like he had a past, his 140 weight class. He did fight some people. Don't get me wrong. He fought some people. He was an underdog. He came up. He deserved the money he was getting. You know what I mean? But you in a new division now, bruh, and you supposed to be fighting champions, man. You was a lineal champion in the 140. Now you moving up to 147. You supposed to be like fighting the best of the best. It's you going backwards. You know what I mean? And you robbing the boxing community. You robbing us, the fans, and you making boxing look like, you know, like a third world country, man. Like, I need you to cut it. You know what I mean? So cut it.
You're right about that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an immediate reaction show, and if you're enjoying this, even though you find me to be all types of vulgar words at this moment, hit the thumbs up, because remember that you're still finding entertainment in this. You're still here, right? So remember that if you don't thumbs it up, then there will not be a here to be at. And don't forget that. Listen, we're going to switch this into drive-by mode, man, because it's just too many people, and this is not Thursday. Drive-by! If you want extra content, find that on Patreon. So we're going to step on this clock. We're going to switch everybody to, let's see, we're going to give everybody 45 seconds here. No, that's too much. Let me see. I'm going to do 45 seconds, and I'm going to go to Alex. Talk to me.
Hey, boys. Look, I was just going to say quickly, especially directed at MD, Alvarez and Danny Garcia are two completely different things. I mean, when you're looking at Alvarez's crap fights, and you can name the likes of Amir Khan kind of thing, that is very different to the Rod Salkers and the Vargases. I mean, Vargas lost to Errol Spence on his way up. I mean, he's the WBC champion. Defending it to the likes of him is just disgraceful, in my opinion. At least Amir Khan was he's a hell of a boxer, you know? So I'll leave it at that because 45 seconds. But yeah, just two different things, boys. Like, no need to compare the two. Danny Garcia is a cherry picker, in my opinion. That's it, boys.
All right, Alex. Thanks for calling in. We're going to get on to some other callers here. I know you might be frustrated, right? But hey, that's what we're here for Thursday. Make sure you come back Thursday, which is mañana, right? So we got 202. You're up. 202, you're up. Going once. Yeah, he jumped off, scared to talk. 415, you're up. 415.
Hey, y'all, it's Larry. Sorry about that.
Larry,
I'm
what's up?
choking on this smoke screen that Ness done set out there. Hey, couple things. First of all, there's absolutely no comparison between Andre Ward and Danny Garcia. Andre Ward is a transcendent fighter. Andre Ward won a gold medal and ain't lost a fight since.
No one's
I'm not trying to hear any
them.
comparison to that in the Kovalev situation. Crazy. Get out of here with that.
But Larry,
second of all,
who
ain't no way Danny Garcia is fighting Keith Thurman next. Danny Garcia is not passing up that Amir Khan rematch. That fight will happen before Thurman. I guarantee it. That's good money. That's big money. That's easy money for Danny. Then Thurman comes after that. Ness, I love you, but you are tripping tonight. I'm out.
Hey, Larry, just to be clear, no one compared Ward to Garcia. That would be insane, man. Come on. We got 754. You're up.
Wait, Ness, I'm sorry to cut you off. When you compare fights, you did compare them.
Hello?
Dude, anybody who knows anything knows that I could never compare Danny Garcia as a fighter compared to Andre Ward as a fighter. The accolades are not even there.
Yeah, but you have to consider all of those things when you're saying.
No, I don't.
Is this any
Because I was
different? Okay.
clear. Listen, what you wanted to hear and what the callers chose to hear in my words, I don't really give a fuck. What I was saying was the contract, the way in which the fights were established, where Kovalev and Ward were given an in-between fight. That's all. I never compared them as fighters. 7-5-4, you're up.
What's good, man? It's simple math, bro. I mean, it said PBC officials announced that the bout will be Garcia's final hurdle before his highly anticipated welterweight world title unification showdown against undefeated champion Keith Thurman, planned for the first quarter of 2017 via ESPN. They're saying PBC officials are saying Thurman's going to happen. He's on a 10-month layoff. Okay, you can't expect him to fight a killer on a 10-month layoff. He's only been at 147, maybe about a year, right? The reason why he got a championship bout in the first place was because of his name at 140, and Keith Thurman and Sean Porter hadn't even fought against each other yet. So how much better were their resumes? So you want to talk about how much he deserves a title fight? Them dudes didn't even fight each other when Danny fought Robert Guerrero. And on top of that, you're talking about egg on our face. When you talk about what Ness is saying that if he fights Keith Thurman, it's a normal progression of how boxers do things. You look at Andre Ward, he fought Sullivan Barrera, before Kovalev and other guys. Gennady Golovkin fought Dominic Wade after he fought a title defense. It's a normal progression, man. He hasn't even been at 147 that long. You want him to have an extravagant resume at 147, and you're comparing him against guys who've been at 147 for years. It doesn't make sense, man. This dude has one of the best resumes at 140 ever, right? I don't know about ever, but he has one of the best. Ever? Lucas Matisse, Amir Khan. And then at 147, he just got there, man. And he beat Robert Guerrero and Paulo Malignaggi, and he has a lot of common opponents as other people. Man, it's insane, man. Give DSG his props. He's going to fight Keith Thurman 2017. Peace.
Yo, Ness, I really haven't heard anybody agree with you besides an obvious Danny Garcia fan. The fact that he said the best ever, one of the best ever at 140 resumes is ridiculous.
He did retract it and say, well, maybe not best ever.
Well, the thought that, I think it was in his mind.
I mean, listen, it is what it is, bro.
You guys think that
I just want people to hit that thumbs up button, regardless of your opinion. Of the fight. Like
but 1 second, but it is funny that you go, who the fuck's Victor Postal, when I think he knocked out the machine, right? That's the claim to fame, right? Or was he older when he fought Ness?
Let go of the shovel, because if you go down this route that you're choosing, then again you contradict yourself, because now you're saying that Matisse is the same Matisse that fought Danny, when you said that Thurman wasn't with the same Guerrero that Danny was with.
I didn't say he was. I was asking you a question.
No, I'm asking you the same question back. Stop wasting our time.
Was Matisse the same?
MD is saying weird questions that he knows the answers to.
Yeah, he's a weirdo, man. Hey, Danny Garcia all day, Langoonies. I got me a hat too, man. And I'm a fan because he earned that shit. You know what I'm saying? He fought Amir Khan when Amir Khan was on a warpath. Even though he got knocked out by Brady Prescott, but he came to America and he started giving it to a lot of people. And everybody was like, oh, my God, Amir Khan. He beat Madonna. He beat Zab Judah. He beat Paulo Malignaggi. So he beat Peterson. Then he beats what's my man's name? Fuck, I didn't slip my mind. He beats Peterson, he beats Matisse, he beats Khan. He earned that. You got to give him that. And then the Rod Soccer fight, that was a transition to leave Golden Boy. You knew they wasn't going to put him at risk. You know what I mean? So he can start PBC. And PBC has a structure where they want to make everybody stars in a way. You know what I mean? Eventually they're going to run into it. And I don't want y'all saying nothing when Danny Garcia catch him with a left hook in an exchange against Thurman. And y'all gonna say Thurman, he didn't have a chin, he got rocked by Soto Karass, or he got hurt by Collazo. Because Thurman doesn't have a resume like Danny Garcia. And nobody even knows what goes on in these boardrooms with, Al Heyman and Mayweather and all them, because Mayweather kind of been throwing those little hints like he'd fight Danny Garcia. So you don't know if they was kind of planning that or if that was an idea. You know what I mean? Give my boy some respect, man. He put in the work. He's the last of a dying breed. There's not too many cats that do that anymore like Mayweather. You know what I'm saying?
Mayweather earned his shit. Danny Garcia earned his shit. He sees the opportunity.
That is
I didn't
officially
want to cut your call, fams, because you was helping the cause. But you know, I gotta be fair.
that is the biggest Danny Garcia fanboy I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yo, but you just said the last caller before that one was the biggest. I mean, stop it already. 8, 5,
No, that one is the pinnacle. That is the most I've
5,
ever heard.
6. Who is this? Tell MD why he's so mad at this. Yo, 8, 5, 6.
I'm still at work. Can't talk much. But Danny Garcia needs to stop cherry picking. That's my call.
Short and sweet. 956. Who is this? 956. 956. 956. 956.
Yo, Ness.
Yo.
Ness, straight up, man. You're stable blind, man. You got to give up on Danny Garcia, man. Everybody says he was trying to be like Mayweather, but at least Mayweather tries to avenge his losses. He should have already fought Mauricio Herrera. He should have fought Peterson again. look at what's that dude with Top Rank? Who am I thinking of? Look at Crawford. You know, he didn't duck Postal. He didn't duck nobody. Would Crawford be ducking people? I mean, look at Thurman. Nobody wants to fight Thurman. Everybody wants to fight Garcia because they see flaws. I mean, that's the difference straight up right there.
I hear you,
what
bro.
do you think about that, man?
I think only time will tell.
Give up on him, man. I mean, peace out. You guys have a good day.
All right. I think only time will tell, man. It's gonna unfold. Listen, we've been here before.
Yeah, and also I think the caller meant avenge close wins, not losses.
Yeah. The difference here is I'm probably still picking Thurman, right? Like I picked Thurman over Porter. Like I've said that before. Thurman is that dude. Like he's the one to take the throne. You'll see. You know.
But you don't have to be that dude to beat Danny Garcia.
Well, we shall see.
I mean,
been here before where he's been the underdog.
Yo, Felix Diaz would give him problems.
I hear you, man. You know, 9-5. Oh no, we got to 956, right? Yes, we did. 504. You're up. Drive by.
Yeah, hello. Yeah. Before I go on Danny Garcia, I'm gonna say I respect dude from his last upset against Lucas Matisse. I thought Lucas Matisse was gonna walk all through him. You know, hear a lot of guys like fanboys on here calling in for Danny Garcia, but he never did anything at 147 yet. They talking about his previous fights at 140. Well, he need to move back down at 140 if that's what he's gonna do. As soon as he steps up in the ring with a real 147 pounder, he's getting knocked out completely. Keith Thurman is gonna punish him. All the top welterweights will walk through him. Errol Spence Jr. will kill him. Danny Garcia is just like in Canelo's situation. They both hiding and trying to duck their way through fights and trying to plan their career, trying to walk through the right opponents, but they don't have the skills to just take on any challenge that comes about. That's why they got to go about it the way they're going about it. Both of them are ducking, cherry picking, hiding, and
Masterpiece says she on 347. And this is Masterpiece. 347. 347.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Hello? Yeah. Basically, boxing fans have no say in the sport whatsoever. You just got to listen and watch and see the matches that happen. You don't have a choice. They just make a match, and since the inception, anybody basically can be a big name, and it turns out they're not going to let you fight a big name right before you fight another big name. It's what you want, but it's not what you're going to get. Thanks. That's it.
All right.
Ness, the caller says we have no choice. The caller says we don't have a choice, right? Obviously, the boxing voice can't say this fight's bullshit. Let's make better fights. That's not enough to change, I guess, anything in the sport. But the influence that people that are inside boxing, writers, fans, and etc., have the ability to support or not support certain fights, or not even support, go behind, put emphasis on good fights and not bad fights, because we do influence people watching and not watching, right? So to say that we have no influence at all, the consumer has all the influence when it comes to a product.
We absolutely have influence on the product, but we have to go to extremes in order to see anything off of that influence. I mean, listen, MD, you can sit here all high and mighty and act as if this is the first time this has happened, but it isn't, and it's not going to be the last.
Wait, but let me give you an example, right? Even though there was, so like when Floyd fought Andre Berto, right? I guess the Manny Pacquiao fight didn't do that well from the casual fans' eyes, right? Also, people in the boxing community didn't think Andre Berto had a competitive chance, right? So the pay-per-view didn't do as well as it could have done if they just sold the narrative that this is Floyd Mayweather's last fight. He's an all-time great. He's a legend. Everybody buy this fight because it's a once-of-a-lifetime opportunity. So the consumer does have that power to change big things in the boxing community, right? But it does take some type of consensus to, I guess, for anything to change, right? For something to
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But I mean, I guess if you want change, you need, everyone to fall in some sort of uniformity, right? Like everyone's got to fall in suit.
And people and to be honest, and maybe it's just a small pool of people, but the majority of callers, besides personal Latin Goonie fanboys, agree to an extent. What I'm saying is Danny Garcia is not doing good things for the sport. And it's not what we like as boxing fans to see someone take that route. And we don't support that. I don't support that. I don't support what he's doing at all. You cannot look at a big win and predicate your entire career off of that.
What happened? Oh, you done?
No, I said you cannot take a big win and predicate your entire career off of that, because that's what you sometimes do when you're arguing with me, because that's all that's what you bring up, because what he's doing since then has been so bleak and pathetic and disgraceful.
All right. I mean,
good evening, guys. Hi, MV. Hi, Ness.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. Just chilling. Is MD still there?
He sure is.
I'm here. What's up?
I said hi, MD. I think your job is to say hi back.
No, there's, I had something in my mouth, but so what do you, so go out,
I'm picking on you, man. It's okay. We talk all the time on Twitter, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So go at Ness right now, because I know you and Ness are probably not going to agree on this one.
Oh, we never do. But I always try to keep my my comebacks at a minimum. I don't want to lose my job. Nah, but Ness, can I get a gunshot, please? 2, actually.
Monster didn't realize that was taking a shot at Ness by trying not to take a shot at Ness. Did she not understand that?
I think that was. Yo,
indeed, you just killed it for me.
I think that was a shot.
That first shot was for you, Ness, for defending this bullshit ass fight. Goddamn well, it is not a good fight, but I'll defend it only and only if DSG will fight Thurman next. The only way I would give consideration to this fight. But besides that, I'm considering Danny Garcia for now kind of a cherry picker, because he could have picked Spence. I mean, why not Spence? It's not like Spence is a title holder or anything like that, or is he?
Because he get that ass whooped.
And
I think everybody knows that.
What'd you say?
Because if you pick Spence, you get that ass whooped.
Because he will get his ass whooped. No, you're right. It's a very complicated fight, and if they want to keep him at a certain stock, they can't damage their product, because if they show defectiveness in the product, ain't nobody gonna buy that shit. So the fight is not gonna sell.
Yeah, and accepting anything else than Danny Garcia other than that.
So I get it. So yeah, so I get it. I'll defend it. I'll I'm talking a lot of shit on the chat, but that's because it's always fun to go at those guys. But to be honest with you, if there's a fight coming up with Thurman, I'm not going to be mad at this. However, I'm going to wait until 2017. And if that doesn't happen, best believe that any hope or any little bit of consideration that I have for DSG is going to be gone, because I feel like you're in your primes right now. You should be looking for the best fights. And DSG, did really well at 140, but that's 140. If you're moving up to 147, your job is to fight the best at 147. At least that's how it came across with with Gonzalez when he moved up to fight Cuadra. You know what I mean? He didn't cherry pick and pick a whole bunch of guys. He fought the guy that had the belt at that championship, and he didn't think about it twice. So, that's a good example. Also, Crawford, when he moved up, he also fought a champion. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You could defend it either way, but I'm going to give DSG until next year, and hopefully that Thurman fight gets made, and then, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll still keep supporting him. But right now, I'm keeping my eye on him, so hopefully he'll make that fight. The second gunshot, real quick, is for Klassenbaum. Klassenbaum, if you're hearing, I'm coming for you tomorrow, because I don't got time right now to say what I want to say. But Canelo ain't shit. I'm saying it again. So good night, fellas.
All right, Monster Piece. All right, let me see how many more we got. Jeez Louise, I got to get up out of here. 623, you're up. Drive by, man.
Yo, this is Serge calling in.
What's
from
up?
Phoenix. Just calling. How you guys doing? Just calling in. I like Garcia. I thought he was great, but these past fights have kind of been So I want to see him fight good opposition. We haven't seen him in a while, and I think it's a treat when we get to see him as boxing fans, to see him in the ring. So I want to see him fight good fighters, good quality fighters. So I'm opposed to the news, of who they picked. I wouldn't mind a Molina. That would have been a good fight. But I'd have to say, looking like a cherry pick for me.
All right, brother, your time is up. Listen, I want to say, taking all bets when the fight happens. That's all I'm saying. 570, you're up.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're up.
Hello.
Yes,
hey,
you're
this
up.
is Joe in Pennsylvania. Just wanted to say that there's a lot of opponents that Danny could have picked that really a little bit more better than what he's been doing lately, and I was a big fan of his, and don't understand why he made this pick. Diego Chavez is out there. I think he's a great opponent for anybody. As far as his fight with Keith Thurman, I hope that does come up next, because if it doesn't, then I just won't be watching any more Danny Garcia until he actually fights a good opponent.
Damn, boycott for real. Well, all right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in. We got 702 Las Vegas, man. Talk to us. 702, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hey, I respect Danny Garcia's resume, but I don't really care for this choice of this particular opponent. Heck, I would even take in an old ass Marquez, even at 43 years old, since he wants to come back next year. I know that's a fantasy type of scenario, but just I'm not gonna say I wouldn't let this slide. I would, as long as he fights Keith Thurman next year. That's all I gotta say. Love the show, and that's it.
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate the call. We got 469. You're up. Drive by.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, did I hear you taking all bets?
Taking all bets. Thurman versus Garcia.
But who you got, though?
I got Thurman.
Who you got?
Thurman.
Oh, damn, never mind. I thought you were running with your boy.
That's what y'all think that he my boy. I said it years ago. Before Thurman had a legitimate win, I said He will be the next Mayweather of the 147-pound division. You watch. With each fight, he gets better and better. You'll see.
I remember y'all made that video of how DSG could beat Mayweather. I mean, I don't know why y'all would say that. I mean,
I was not associated with that video.
Khan had a better chance to beat
Oh,
DSG.
man. Here we go with the Amir Khan. Amir Khan. Is he awake?
There's a reason why Floyd and Manny Pacquiao dodged him. Because they did duck him. I mean, he might have a solid chin. He might have a weak chin. But both Floyd and Pac cannot punch no more. Maybe Pac can still punch a little bit harder than Floyd, but come on. They both ducked him.
Well, all right, brother. Let me get to some other callers. 224, you're up. Drive by. Clock is ticking. All right. Well, we are done. This has been an immediate reaction show to the fight, Danny Garcia versus Samuel Vargas. Obviously, the public does not want this fight. If you're watching this in the future, past, present, doesn't matter. Hit that thumbs up button because the show is entertainment. And if you don't like the show, then I won't come around. So if there's no thumbs up to tell me that you like it, then I don't come around. So you have to be here. And stop saying the MD's getting fired. I keep telling you, oh, y'all can't hear that because the Luis Ortiz TBB from all angles that we did is on the Patreon only. So shout out to all my Patreon subscribers who are supporting us on Patreon and receiving all that exclusive content. But yeah, everybody who heard that episode thought MD was going to get the axe. What is it with these guys, MD?
I mean, would you go against your callers because none of them agreed with you? So you can't be going.
Listen, I was here before, man. I got episodes that all. Listen, I want all you guys to go back. Just Google when Danny fought Amir Khan and listen to that show. Google when Danny fought Matisse and listen to that show. It's never been a difference, brother. It's never been a difference. The only difference here is I'm finally gonna pick against Danny.
But I'm gonna be honest.
Maybe because keep it real. Collazo has showed. I mean, Collazo hurt Thurman. Diego Chavez hurt Thurman. Fucking Soto Carras hurt Thurman. I'm just saying, I'm just saying that my man's in them.
Okay, we rolling. You ain't popping no champagne. Nah. You ain't popping no champagne. Nah. You ain't hopping no damn.
Okay, we rolling. Hey. You just never know. Danny might hit him with that check left hook. Now I'm joking because Danny ain't got enough power. He don't. Listen, Port already came out and said Thurman, he's never been hit as hard as anybody as hard as Thurman hits. Like that's gonna be a super fight. This is why I don't care about Samuel Vargas. That's what y'all don't get. Yeah. All you losers, all you fickle boxing fans, stop watching it. We don't need you guys as fans. See, I understand Samuel Vargas is a pawn. After this, the welterweight division will have a check fucking mate, a true welterweight champ. We'll have at least a unification. At least.
We should get Danny Garcia to call in and do an interview on the show.
Well, I'm going to interview him tomorrow. Don't you worry about it. So the show might be pushed back. We might do tomorrow's show maybe at 8 o'clock.
Is he allowed to do it without Angel holding his hand, or is he going to be by himself?
I don't know.
I mean, does he? It's a real question. Does he do interviews alone?
Does he do? Yeah, they do interviews separately.
I mean, have you ever seen him give an interview with Angel not around?
Of course, it's totally not like the other relationship.
I think it's worse.
All right. Well, anyway, I am your host, NesGTO. Find me on Twitter or Instagram at NesGTO. And here's my co-host who's going to stick around.
You can follow me at Boxing MD.
Hopefully he sticks around. He's got to have tough skin. But remember to hit that thumbs up button.
You can follow me at Boxing MD1. And,
oh, shit. Wait, did we get to Alex? Alex, did we ever get to you? Alex? Guess not. Alex? I think we did get to Alex, right? Anyway,
I'm good.
Go ahead, MD.
No, we're good. And, you definitely took a knee on this one, Ness.
Yeah, but you listen, you can't take any credit let me just turn this off. So this is clear to you, right? Because you can't take any credit on any sort of moral victory that you got on this show when the world knows how people feel about Danny Garcia.
But we just want you to call it a spade. I just want you to call it a spade that he's a
What would you like me to say? What is it that I'm not saying? Have I said I like the Samuel Vargas fight?
that Danny Garcia represents something in the sport.
Answer some questions for me. Have I said once that the Vargas fight is competitive?
No.
Have I said it's good?
No.
Did I say I know Samuel Vargas?
No.
Have I said I like the fight?
You said you're okay with it.
Have I said I like the fight?
No.
Have I said did I want this fight?
No.
Am I missing anything?
Did you compare Isaac Chilemba to Vargas? Yes.
No, I didn't.
How is this not the same thing between Brand and
you're missing the comparison is the negotiation, MD, not the fucking talent. The negotiation, meaning one mediocre fight, then the super fight. What I don't understand how this is not going into that head. I mean, yo, you're gonna have a scalpel in your hand
because you have no. I mean, sometimes it's very frustrating when you pick little things out of an argument to make a point of, because you say that it's the argument, but you have to factor in someone like Isaac Chilemba being so different than someone like Sammy Vasquez or whatever, not Sammy Vasquez, whatever the fuck this guy is.
I've proved over and over that you can't factor in the talent because the networks, the powers that be, are always going to pick someone that the A side can beat because the B side is not allowed to ruin the apple cart because there's big business in the next.
But sometimes they match it competitively enough that it happens. We saw that with the Austin Trout fight versus Miguel Cotto fight. We saw that with the Victor Ortiz fight.
No. Wait a minute.
We saw that with.
No. Wait. Slow down. Austin Trout, Miguel Cotto. There was no Cotto wasn't fighting Trout because he was gonna fight who? No. Cotto was fighting Trout because he needed a belt. He was coming back.
He was trying to fight Canelo. So
next fight. What was your next fight? Now that you mentioned, because you lost on that one. What's your next one?
No, I didn't. Victor Ortiz versus what's his name?
Josecito Lopez. You mean when Josecito Lopez got the shot versus Canelo?
Yeah.
Which that's a cherry pick. That dude was 147. And he was actually 140 pounder. It already lost to Jesse.
And then he broke Victor Ortiz's jaw. So because the fight was competitive enough that it actually, became a good fight.
No, it was because it was Canelo. It was because it was Canelo that they were able to pull it off.
Bro, my point. No, I'm talking about Victor Ortiz was supposed to fight Canelo Alvarez. But he got his jaw broke.
Cool. Remember that Canelo then fought on Showtime that fight. So it was all part of a package money deal.
But he got it again. Victor Ortiz got his jaw broke by a guy he was supposed to beat. So the fact is that they should that was this.
Again, you're wrong. Victor Ortiz wasn't supposed to beat Josecito Lopez. Just like everybody didn't know what was going to happen versus Josecito Lopez and Maidana. Some picked Maidana, some didn't. What are you talking about? Why are you acting like Josecito Lopez was some bum at the time that Victor Ortiz fought him? And why are you acting like Victor Ortiz was so big and bad?
No, he's not so bum because only Danny Garcia fights.
Anyway, dude, this is another show. This is another show.
You don't like this. You still don't see it. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's not some bum. He was an opponent that was expected to lose by the networks. But Danny Garcia fights the lowest level of bums for any superstar I've ever seen in boxing on a consistent basis. I'm gonna end with that.
Okay. I mean, listen, I'll end it with this. What is top tier in your opinion? You're on mute, bro.
Wait. Top tier.
What do you consider the top of the division?
Top 10. In deeper divisions, I would say either like 1 through 8 or 1 through 10.
1 through 8 or 1 through 10.
And in a deepish division like the welterweight division, yeah. In some divisions, it's only like light heavyweight. It's only like 3 or 4. I mean, it varies per division. I don't know what you're going to ask, but
that makes sense. All right, I just didn't expect you to use the top 10.
Well, in a deep division like the welterweight division, the top 10 is what is the term you used again? Top tier. Yeah, top tier.
The top of the tier in that division is the way, you know, I like to call it. Like I would consider.
Yeah, and obviously the heavyweight division doesn't go 10 deep for the top tier of that, you know.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, maybe top 6, right?
Yeah, you know, so it varies per division. So, you know, and
it all depends too, because you find these guys, they give, I mean, you never know. They give a lot of people credit for mediocre wins.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is what it is. But anyways, it's been a good show, Ness.
Yes, it has. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, Thursday. Peace.